Welcome to the locker room chat. The old guys are back again.
The old gentlemen are back here. I tell you what.
We're back.
Just like good old whiskey, buddy. We get better with age.
There you go,
buddy?
man. I agree with you. That's about the only thing I'm going to agree with you on tonight. But
No,
I will agree with you on that, all
Why
right?
did you agree with me on that?
I just did. I just feel sorry for you sometimes.
Well, you shouldn't feel sorry. I probably got the best bracket in town.
No, you don't have a bracket talk because I know what it is. You know, here's what it is,
got the
Barry.
best
It
bracket
is
in
real
town.
simple for you to fill your bracket out as the tournament goes on. You wait till the games are played and then you move them on every who
You're not supposed to do that?
And then you can say, well, I didn't have no upset. I picked
You know who I learned that from?
me. I heard that. Hey, later on tonight, about 8:15, 8:20, we're gonna have a phone call with Coach Jody Wright from Fulton High School. Talk about his last state championship. We'll have him on the phone with us.
The gold ball.
Talk with him a little bit. It's his 5th championship at Fulton. He's been to the state tournament since he's been there. He's been there 20 times.
Wow.
4 gold balls, 5 silver balls.
Wow.
So it's a pretty good record. Got some pretty good athletes that go through that school, and he's been fortunate enough to have some. I've seen a lot of.
Who is the best athlete?
I mean, I don't know. I asked Jody today, and we didn't talk about that. We just talked about, maybe what was myself, just from what I hung around over there, the years I hung. I couldn't say if his team was better than this team. I will say there's really been some. You have to go way back. I think.
Whitby?
He could be. Jalen Steele was another one. There's been
Whitby's probably the all-around athlete, though, right? 3 letters in college.
If you want to look at it like that, maybe you could look at it like that.
You'd forgotten about that, hadn't you?
No, I hadn't forgotten about
Whitby.
As a matter of fact, there might only be 3 retired jerseys hanging in the rafters over there, and his is one of them, and Jalen Steele's is the one of them, and I can't remember the third.
But Walker was a good football player from there too, right? Went on to play linebacker at Tennessee.
Yeah, I think so, but I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think you're right. So there's been a lot of really good. I mean, you just say if I just went off best basketball player right now, Jalen Steele would be in my top 1, 2, or 3 somewhere along the line. But man, he's had some really good kids over there.
But David, and we've talked about it probably for 20 years on Wednesday night. Think where Fulton High School would be, or Central High School, or Austin East, or any of those inner city schools would be if it weren't for the type of coaches that they have there. When you talk about Coach Black and Jody at Fulton, you talk about Coach Helton and some of the ones that were at Central, and all the great guys that have been at Anderson, and all of them have been at Austin East. That's the glue of that community. Now, you want to talk about community spirit and the community being involved. That's where the rubber meets the road, and those places. When you get a good one, man, you are lucky, because those are the people that are guiding those young men and women on their journey.
And a lot of people don't understand what that culture is until you're in it over there.
Yeah.
So, that's some kid's father figure. That's sports is important to those kids.
Sure.
And the coaches are really important. But Coach Wright, there's not a better coach than Jody. Not a better
person.
Listen, we'll just say person. Not a better person than Jody Wright that I know of anyway. If there is, I'd like to meet him. And I might have said this last week. If I didn't say it last week, I'll say it this week. Jody Wright's got to be one of the best basketball coaches in East Tennessee, and will go down in history as one of the best basketball coaches. I'm sure there might be some other great ones out here, but Jody is just a fabulous basketball coach.
How many opportunities has he had to go to college, not just other high schools?
I don't know if I don't really know. I always asked him this question. Maybe I better not say it. I might make some people mad, so I'm not going to say what I was going to say. I've asked him before, but he's been blessed, man, to have some really great athletes too.
He has.
But you know what? Here's what I know it goes on in a lot of schools. A lot of schools don't share athletes.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
They don't share them.
Right.
You either play basketball.
By share, you mean in one
share.
sport.
By share,
you
can't play 3 sports. You play 1. But at Fulton, when it's basketball time, it's basketball time. And when it becomes football time, it's football time, or baseball time, or track. And they share athletes, and you wait on those athletes to get out of those sports till they're through.
Give them a week off.
And I think they used to get a week off.
Yeah.
And you give them some time off.
Yeah.
and then they rotate in. And I've been to many games where we didn't have 4 or 5 or 6 basketball players that were still on the football team.
Right.
But Jody never complained about it or not, because that's just the way it is.
Right.
That's
Because
life.
the baseball team had to wait on him.
That's right. That's the best part of Fulton High School, is being able to share the athletes, and being able to get the athletes and have them roll into one. Not, you know, it's a shame if a kid wants to play 2 sports, you ought to be able to play 2 sports. He ought to not be punished.
But you
and
know
just
the
have to
thing,
play one.
the thing that distinguishes him too, and distinguishes all good coaches, is when you take that freshman class, and by the time those freshmen are seniors, they've gone to the state championship or they've won the state championship. They've been coachable and they've been coached up. That's how you distinguish between the really good coaches, the ones that take the good athlete and make them better, that take the mid-range athlete, you make them better, and the guy that you really didn't have a whole lot of hope for, you hope that he's better right there with them because of those. And that's what it's.
So this group played there last year, lost out, I think, in the first or second round, didn't make it into the finals, but lost out. This group goes back this year, wins it. This
You have
group
twins on this team?
There's a couple twins. They're kin to Jalen Steele. This group will almost all of them be back next year.
Oh, wow.
There's 3 out of the starting 5 that are the glue. I'll say the glue. They're all back. So the nucleus of that team is back next year, and I would say right now, if you were doing a betting line on high school sports, they would be one of the. Let's see who's on the phone here. We got somebody holding for us here right quick. Let me see if I can figure out who it is. Go ahead, caller, you're on the air.
Is this a Friday night locker room reunion show or what?
No, it ain't no Friday night locker room reunion. This is just a Wednesday night show, bud.
Queener, I mean, you can't get a better guest than that.
Hey, I know who this is.
No, not really. He's the only guest I could get.
I recognize this voice.
Well, that's a shame. I mean, I thought you'd kind of upped your game a little bit, and you had to resort to.
I recognize this voice. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm good. Are you home?
Great, buddy.
Scrolling through Facebook, and I catch these 2 All-Americans. I mean,
Are you home?
yes, sir.
Oh, okay, you got home. Okay, good.
Yes, sir. As the late, great Featherlegs would say, 2 great All-Americans here.
Hey, I don't know about being great, but we're here. I can tell you that. We're here.
So while we've got you, just chat with us for a minute. How's your bracket look?
My bracket is
Perfect.
no. I've got 2 of the 4 Final Four, and I think Sweet 16 took a hit. But
So who do you have? Alabama? Houston?
yes, sir. No, I had Alabama, and maybe I just have 1 then.
Okay.
I think. I'm not sure. So
You didn't
but-
you're not doing like this and sitting beside me, are you? He's filling his bracket out as the tournament goes on.
Is that he has his wide out with him and just
No, he don't carry no white eights. He just fills it out as a.
No, you do it after the game.
You do it after the game. He just fills it out. He's coming here tonight and said, "My bracket's perfect. It's perfect."
I told
I'm in
you I
good-
lost one.
He's in good shape. Well, that's to throw everybody off.
Well, I told you I lost
he's,
one. Kansas got
He's
beat.
letting on like that. So he's got a perfect bracket, buddy. That's the way everybody ought to do the brackets the way he does it.
So what are your thoughts on the Sweet 16?
Wow, I don't know. I think there's going to still be one more big upset. I don't know who it is. I think it's either Houston or Alabama will go down.
Yeah, I think depending on the guards for Houston, if he's healthy, they're a different team. So
Kansas State playing awfully well right now.
I think the surprise team will be what most people around here has thought should be all year long. I think Tennessee winds up in the Final Four.
they very well could, Queener. But the only thing that scares me about this game is it's a game that if when Tennessee loses a game, they lose to a team like this.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I just think it is setting right for them to get in the Final Four possibly. So
It is.
you know,
if it's the WWE or the
it don't matter. It depends. If Tennessee comes out and plays really good defense tomorrow night and their offensive game is on, it's on. You're right, Brad. You're right. What you just said. If they come out and just play good defense and the offense is not going on, it could be a long night for them.
Yeah, if they play like they did Saturday, which is probably one of the most complete games besides the Texas game that I've seen them play all year, they should handle that one with their size and strength. I think the next game, whether it's Michigan State, who they actually scrimmage preseason, before to get a little practice in, and you talk about two physical teams going at each other, but I'm impressed with the Kansas State point guard, and the only thing that scares me is if Tennessee gets advances and Kansas State advances, that's where you see the loss of Ziegler show up, because his ability to match up with a quick point guard who can handle the rock and can generate, and drive and dish and all that. So
I think something else that helps Tennessee out just a little bit, if you look at Tennessee's depth right now compared to everybody else, most of these teams are playing maybe 6-7 players a game, and Tennessee's really deep. Tennessee goes down and can play, maybe 9, even possibly 10 if they have to, where most of these teams are playing, the most they're going in their bench is 1 or 2, and that's it. And if they have to go further, than that, it's really trouble for them. So I think Tennessee's big thing right now is their depth that they got. I think they got that going for them, and having 3 guys that are, they're either 6'10" or better. So having those 3 guys, and that's 15 fouls. Most teams don't have that to take it, and then having Conway, having him also, and that just. I think Tennessee's people down low really has really paid off for them, or is paying off for them right now.
yeah, no, I agree, and it didn't help any when the big guy for Florida Atlantic called him dirty today. So Euros is going after him the first possession. Yeah,
as this sitting beside me said, Coach is just going to tell him, go ahead and do what you need to do for 2 minutes, and we'll get us a couple fouls. I told you, it didn't even take 2 minutes the other day. 30 seconds he had him probably. So,
Yep.
Yeah, I think the officiating might be a little bit different, though, come Thursday night. It might be, advantage Florida Atlantic, because I think it possibly might get called a little tighter with Tennessee, getting some bad publicity from the game being rough and all that. But, man, that's just hard-nosed defense. So we'll see how it turns out. I don't have a clue.
Nobody does.
Well, everything's set up for them to get to the Final Four, Queener, like you said. So it's one of those where they need to take advantage of it.
It's a prime opportunity to at least get to the Elite 8. So we'll see.
Yep. Well, you guys, I looked here, so I've got 2 of the 4 left. I've got Alabama and I've got Xavier in the Final Four.
Oh, Xavier.
Xavier's not playing bad.
Little sleeper.
That'll be a good matchup with Texas.
Yep.
So,
Well, good deal, buddy. Tell Big E I said hello.
I'll do it. Y'all take care. Good to see you on there, and y'all have a great night.
Be safe, buddy.
see you, bud.
Love you, man.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Hey, let's jump out and take our first commercial break, and when we come back, we'll try to get Coach Wright on the line.
As soon as I walked in the door and saw just the ambiance of the place, I thought, wow. I said, this is really nice. Everyone is just great with all of the residents.
I call this the Alexander House of Angels.
This is an example of one of our rooms. This is considered a large studio. We do have 4 different size rooms. They all have their own private bathrooms. They all have a small kitchenette.
I always tell residents that they feed us wisdom. I feel like that's a big special part of working in assisted living.
And it's a big family here. Everyone is very nice.
Look out for each other.
They do. She's made a lot of friends. It's been that from day one.
Yeah, it has. I love our building, our people, but I tell you, I wouldn't be anywhere else.
Daniel Forrester has been recognized as one of East Tennessee's leading attorneys for nearly 2 decades. Civil disputes, criminal defense, divorces, and juvenile custody cases are all part of an impressive resume. Daniel's legal experience also includes representing clients in local, state, and federal courts. A husband and a father, Daniel is a Rule 31 certified mediator who has represented hundreds of families in Chancery Court. Call Daniel Forrester Law Office at 865-457-7900 for a free consultation.
Earl Duff Pre-Owned Center in Harriman is your one-stop shop for vehicle sales and service. The Duff family is open for business for everything automotive. We offer fully inspected, dependable pre-owned vehicles, and most come with a powertrain warranty at no extra cost. We also have a complete service department equipped for maintenance and repairs on all makes and models.
Don't settle for less with your next pre-owned vehicle purchase. Come to Earl Duff Pre-Owned Center in Harriman or online at duffpreowned.com.
I'm Andrew Saul, Commissioner of Social Security. Beware of telephone scammers pretending to be government employees. Real Social Security employees will never threaten you. Callers threatening you with arrest or other legal action and demanding money are not from us. If you receive a call like this, hang up, do not provide them with any form of payment or information. Report the call at oig.ssa.gov.
We treat you like family at RMG. Bring your junk, cars, aluminum cans. We buy it on the spot and we pay you a lot. We treat you like family at RMG. Yeah, we treat you like family at RMG. We treat you like family.
Rome Metals is located just off of Highway 27 between Harriman and Rockwood.
Welcome back to the Locker Room Chat. Let's go. We got Coach Wright on hold here, Ron. Let's get him right here. Coach Wright.
What do you say, boys?
How we doing tonight?
Good. How about you guys?
Doing pretty good, Jody. Got Rob Berry here with me tonight, and we just want to say congratulations on your 4th championship.
Ron, keep David in line tonight.
Coach, you know better. You know better than anyone that you can't do that. But it's awfully good to catch back up with you again. It's been a while, but Coach, again, congratulations on a fine season and wrapping it up with a gold ball. And we were just talking earlier, Coach. Throw the gold balls and all of that stuff aside. The thing that really impresses me about you and Fulton and those coaches are, I mean, you guys are the backbone of these kids and these schools, and regardless of if you win a gold ball or not, it's what they're learning on the court and about life and about being good daddies and husbands and all that stuff. And to me, that's you get a super gold ball for that.
Well, thank you, Ron. And you're right. That's gold balls are not the goal for high school coaches. If that's the sole goal, then you certainly miss your greatest thing that you can do as a coach. And I was fortunate when I came to Fulton at a really young age. I think I was around 23, just to be around good men, Bob Black, Steve Brewer, two in particular, and really, they showed me what coaching high school is all about, and it's about, again, the opportunity to take a boy and help him grow into a man, and to teach accountability and hold kids to standards and do all of those things right there. And I've been very blessed to be able to do that at a place, and that has allowed me to do that and hold kids accountable and coach to holding kids to high standards. And so that's the part of it, and that's really should be the goal of every high school coach. Unfortunately, we live in a win today world, and a lot of people lose sight of that. And I talked to my guys just the other day. Everything in college is transfer portal this, transfer portal that, and they miss out on such a great thing, that adversity, how it teaches us resiliency and perseverance and all those things right there. But that's really what high school coaching is about. But that's not the case in a lot of places, just because the expectations are win and do whatever it takes to win.
Well, you mentioned Coach Brewer. He goes on to Sevier County and has a great career at Sevier County, and of course Coach Black's son takes over, and so you've had good continuity there, and it's just we're so thankful for guys like you all to take our kids and especially even in Knoxville. We talk about rural areas and their schools being the centerpiece. It doesn't really matter. I mean, you take Knoxville and each one of those schools, man, that's their community. That's what they live for. And
it is, and that's Fulton High School has been a integral part of that North Knoxville community for since back in the 50s, and it still is today.
Jody, how long you been at Fulton?
Came there in 85, so what is that, 37 years?
37 years? Wow.
37, 38, somewhere around in there.
Yeah, been there a while.
37, I think.
Yeah, 37. Me and Barry was talking earlier. I know there's a couple. How many jerseys are there's? Is there 3 jerseys hanging in the gym that's retired?
Billy Justice, Jalen Steele, James Gallman.
Okay.
Justice. Wow, Wes, that's some dandies, Coach, and probably some others that that probably would justify being there, but you can't hang everybody's jersey, so you got to have them. And I'm sure when you talk about hanging jerseys, it's more than how many points they scored. It's more than how many wins they had. It's the character that they had along with that puts their jerseys up in the rafters.
It is, and of course, Justice was retired before I got there, and I had a guy, alumni, asked me about a month and a half ago why I never retired Ron Whitby's jersey, and I said, well, number one, I never coached Ron, and I said, Bob Fry was around so long. I said, I just felt like, I said, obviously Ron was, one of the more fantastic athletes come out of Knoxville, but I always felt like that would have been a kind of a slap at Coach Fry, who was a long-time Fulton coach, and everybody knew Bob Fry. I didn't want to. I just felt like I'd been stepping on Coach Fry's toes.
Right.
So I did, but we retired too in my time. Jalen Steele and Mr. Basketball, who went on to Mississippi State, and James Gallman, and both those guys won multiple state championships, and man, they were fantastic young men and fantastic players.
Coach, we were talking too earlier about the fact that as a coach, one of the neat things you get to do is you get to see these scrawny kids coming in as freshmen, and some of them are trying to are still growing and clumsy, and you wonder what am I going to be doing 3 years from now with this group, and to be able to take those kids and the good ones that you have get better, and the ones that you didn't think were going to be very good get better, and the ones that were average get better. That's really what coaching's all about, isn't it?
It really is. I told my guys yesterday, we had a little pep rally celebration after we were done. We met in the locker room, and I told them, I said, you guys discovered the secret of success. It's hard work. And I said, it's just there aren't any shortcuts. We call it at Fulton, we call it the process, but it's hard work, and it is good when you see guys that come in and they'll buy into the process and they'll embrace it, and as they get better and go on. And David, you'll appreciate this. You remember Alec Davis, who was played with the big post guy on our '98 state runner-up team. He was saw him right after the ball game. There were tons of former players there Saturday, but hadn't seen Alec in 20, 25 years, and it's just good to catch up with him and see the young man he has become, and that's when at the high school level, Ron, that's when you call those encounters payday, because you're not going to have the $1 million salary, and you're not going to have all the perks and things, but that they get at the next level. But when you see these guys and they come back and you see the impact you've had on their lives, and that they have become the men that you knew they could become. That's your paycheck at the high school level.
Talking with Jody Wright, coach at Fulton High School, who just won another state championship. Coach, have you ever had any desire to go to the college level?
You know, my plan was all along when I left LMU. I played at LMU, and then I was a grad assistant for Rick Byrd up there for a year. For my plan all along was to go to high school level and then get back into the college scene there. And I just knew after a couple years at Fulton, I had no desire. I was right where I needed to be. And I've had some opportunities, but just never felt like that was where I was led to be. And that's, I get asked a lot, why haven't you left Fulton? And I feel like as a man that puts his faith in God and to direct my path, I feel like I'm right where I'm supposed to be, and so therefore I haven't left, and I'm an example of a guy that has been blessed far better than he deserves. That's for sure.
Well, I guess we can all fall into that category, Coach. But certainly you've been a blessing to those folks in those communities, and not just to the my guess is you're a tribute to the kids walking the halls of Fulton High School, not just that basketball team, but I'm sure the kids that don't play basketball are just as much linked to you as your basketball players are, and that's all we can ask for you coaches. I mean, for the hours and the hourly pay that you get, it's not the gold ball, as we said earlier. It's the gratitude and watching these young men become men, and I'm sure, and especially when you see them come back with their children. That's when you know you've been successful, when you bring them back and their children are just as good as they were.
Yeah, that is. You're exactly well said, Ron.
Well, the thing about it is I can remember he's got two twins playing for him right now. I remember when those two twins would come to the ball game. I remember where they sat, and they were little bitty guys running around over there. So today to know that they've came on into Fulton and they're over there now, and they're some of the leaders of the pack over there. It's really something else for me just to even remember seeing those two little bitty fellers over there at the time, not knowing that someday they'd be at Fulton and really be big stars like they are today. Hey, Coach, I appreciate you calling in, and congratulations again. And I guess we'll just expect the same thing next year. But you told me earlier today, typical coach. I got to ask this question to ask him. Coach, what kind of team you going to have next year?
We'll be young.
Be young, inexperienced.
We got a lot of growing.
You got a lot of growing to do. Well, Coach, get them in the gym and work with them this summer, and I think things will come together.
I hope each of them will grow that 3 or 4 inches you're looking for there, Coach.
Exactly right.
Coach, for me, it's always been a great honor to have been associated with you just a little bit through here and through David and Steve, but more importantly, it makes reading about Fulton High School in the paper even much more satisfying to know that I know the person they're talking about, and we just thank you for all you've done.
Appreciate it, guys. Very honored to be here tonight.
Thanks, Jody. Appreciate it, buddy.
All right, see you guys.
Thanks, man. That's Jody Wright, head basketball coach. I think Brad called him and asked him if that was the GOAT, and he said, no, it's Jody Wright. No, that's the GOAT of high school basketball in Knoxville, as far as I'm concerned. He is the GOAT.
And if not already, a future Hall of Famer for Knoxville.
Yeah, I don't know
why they don't put him in there right now.
They should put him in right now, and whatever award they can give him from TSSAA. Not only that, does he not only coach basketball at Fulton, he's athletic director, assistant principal, but he's on the TSSAA Board of Controls.
That's right. That's another conversation.
He represents this area really well and tries to keep things balanced. I know that he does. He's a guest on a Friday night show a lot, too, with me and Cox. We have him down, I think he was here 2 times last year. He was with us a couple of times. And we talk about football. We talk about reclassification. And he always talks about the reclassification stuff. So, listen, if you don't know Jody Wright, you're missing out. He's just he's not only a great guy, he's a great friend of mine. Him and my brother are married to sisters. He's got a great family. He's got 2 daughters that are really, they're just great. They're great people. He's got a great wife, and Jody's just a godly man. And he said about buying into the system. You either buy into the system or you're not there long.
Way, huh?
You're not there long because it's Jody's way or the highway.
And I don't blame him, but
that's the way he coaches, man.
But I do remember reading in the paper several times where in the playoffs he set a person. He set them out for a game. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you are in the stage of the season. You do wrong, and it don't matter who you are. You're gonna sit.
I tell this story all the time. You've heard me probably tell it. Jalen Steele, I think, was either a freshman or a sophomore, and he was having a really rough time. I don't remember what the situation was, but Jody took him out, and Jalen goes all the way down and sits at the far end of the bench. And Jody says something to him about sitting down there, and the game just keeps on going. He don't say nothing to him after the initial conversation about him sitting down there. And eventually, if you want to play, you're going to get back up here. Well, he moves about halfway, from the end of the bench to about halfway. Still nothing's changed. He's still on the bench. Right. Now, you got to remember what Jalen Steele is going to turn out to be later on in the next year or two here. He's going to turn out to be probably one of the better basketball players to go through Fulton High School. So I thought it was funny. He's down on the bench for a long time. Right. Then he goes to the middle. Then next thing you know, he's sitting right beside the coach.
Waiting for the coach to look for him.
And the coach never looked for him. He didn't look for him, and he said, now you're going to go back in and do it my way, or you're going to be back over here. And from that point on, I really don't think Coach Wright got on Jalen Steele another time about anything, because he figured it out that night in that 4 or 5 minutes span.
That there's no eye.
That's right. He figured it out. We're going to play Coach Wright's way over here. Right. And it's the right way to play because they don't hang just anything in the rafters at Fulton. You got to go to Murfreesboro to get things hung in the rafters at Fulton High School. It's not just anything. And the proof's in the pudding. He's been there 20 times, 4 gold balls, 5 silver balls. Wow. Now, I can tell you, man, winning those silver balls.
How many trips there?
Well, they've been 20.
That's what I'm saying. 20
out of 20 out of 26 times, I think, Jody Wright's took them. He's been there for 20 of those. Wow. I can tell you, those gold balls they're nice looking and everything, but man, they hurt to bring back because you're that close to winning one, and it's a painful thing to bring.
So he's been long enough to know what they have in the hospitality room.
Yeah, he knows what they got in the hospitality room, and he knows how the process works and everything. But just congratulations, Jody's a good guy, and he's one of those good. He's one of those people that's good for high school basketball and high school sports and what he does in that area over there.
Now, let me ask you this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did Steve referee any of his basketball games, or is that a conflict?
He probably did.
Probably a conflict for them to.
There's a few schools thought.
Well, I guarantee you one thing. Steve Queener would have been just like Jody. He wouldn't have cared who was calling, who the coach was. He'd call it like it was.
Well, there's a couple school systems that didn't think that Steve's association should even have anything to do with that. With if Jody was on the floor, that Steve's officials should be on the floor. And I know they went around and around with that, and on a few things, especially up in Sevierville, the school superintendent up in Sevierville didn't think, and he told him, I'll just call Childers and complain on you, and he did, and then him and Childers talked during. I don't. Yeah. But it went on it. So, but I don't know if my brother ever called a game of his or not. I don't know.
Good.
So I don't really have any idea. Hey, let's jump out and take another break. We'll be right back here.
As soon as I walked in the door and saw just the ambiance of the place, I thought, wow. I said, this is really nice. Everyone is just great with all of the residents.
I call this the Alexander House of Angels.
This is an example of one of our rooms. This is considered a large studio. We do have 4 different size rooms. They all have their own private bathrooms. They all have a small kitchenette.
I always tell residents that they feed us wisdom. I feel like that's a big special part of working in assisted living.
And it's a big family here. Everyone is very nice.
Look out for each other.
They do. She's made a lot of friends. It's been that from day one.
Yeah, it does.
I love our building, our people, but I tell you, I wouldn't be anywhere else.
Daniel Forrester has been recognized as one of East Tennessee's leading attorneys for nearly 2 decades. Civil disputes, criminal defense, divorces, and juvenile custody cases are all part of an impressive resume. Daniel's legal experience also includes representing clients in local, state, and federal courts. A husband and a father, Daniel is a Rule 31 certified mediator who has represented hundreds of families in Chancery Court. Call Daniel Forrester Law Office at 865-457-7900 for a free consultation.
The life of every child is precious. If you care for a child or teenager with a disability and have limited income and resources, they may qualify for monthly cash payments through the Supplemental Security Income Program, or SSI. Call Social Security at 1-800-772-1213 or visit ssa.gov/SSI-Kids to learn more. That's ssa.gov/SSI-Kids. Message produced by Social Security at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Earl Duff Pre-Owned Center in Harriman is your one-stop shop for vehicle sales and service. The Duff family is open for business for everything automotive. We offer fully inspected, dependable pre-owned vehicles, and most come with a powertrain warranty at no extra cost. We also have a complete service department equipped for maintenance and repairs on all makes and models.
Don't settle for less with your next pre-owned vehicle purchase. Come to Earl Duff Pre-Owned Center in Harriman or online at duffpreowned.com.
Roan Metals Group has been serving East Tennessee for decades. Locally owned and operated with convenient hours of operation. Roan Metals buys all types of scrap metal. Nothing's too big or too small. Still have that clunker sitting around? We've been buying them for years. Roan Metals Group are specialists in industrial scrap. We have what it takes to get any size job done. Roan Metals urges you to recycle responsibly. Scrap with only licensed dealers. A member of the TSRA and the ISRI. Roan Metals Group. Turn that scrap into cash.
Welcome back to the locker room chat. Like I said, we just had Coach Jody Wright, state championship basketball coach, on with us, and good to talk to Jody. And I had a question to ask you, and I don't remember what it. I'll think about it here in a minute, maybe before we get off there. I can't remember what it was.
Trying to stump me?
I was trying to tell you something about. It's about pickleball.
Oh, pickleball.
Yeah, it was something about pickleball. I can't remember what it was.
Buddy. In the morning.
Well, we was talking about. Me and my son was talking about pickleball. Maybe it was today, or I can't remember when it was. We were talking about pickleball, and we were talking about pickleball courts, and I said, made a comment about it being a fast-growing sport, that you was participating in it, and he said, yeah, right, when we're at track practice at Catholic High School, he said, right above Catholic, there's a bunch of pickleball courts, because you can hear them actually hit. Yeah, you can hear the pop on the pipe. He said, man, it's up there. It's right there close to the track there somewhere at Catholic. Talking about the pickleball stuff, so that's becoming a big.
It's huge.
It's becoming a big time.
It's huge. There are a lot of cities who are going out now and resurfacing the tennis courts for pickleball courts, because it's just like at Harriman. Harriman is Mayor Bess has welcomed us at Harriman Community Center. They've got 2 courts indoors there. We have people from Oak Ridge. We have people from the Preserve. We have people from all over the county. Probably 20, 25 people on a good day that are coming in there to play pickleball. And then Kingston has some courts. Kingston has some outdoor courts. Rockwood's going to do some outdoor and indoor. It's a great sport.
So to get to I know Chandler said something about had some sports, had a little baseball stuff.
Yeah, baseball
I think Oak Ridge has jumped out first 2 games. I think they're 2-0. I think Clinton's jumped out and won maybe 2 out of 3 or something like that. So the sports are
it's full swing.
Full swing there. Yeah, let's see. Wow, man, look at Oak Ridge and Campbell County, 23-6. That has to be a run rule. There's Cofield getting man, look at wow.
I saw Oneida coming into Rockwood the other night. So they beat Rockwood 6-3.
Wow, Cofield's laid it on Sunbright and then laid it on Harriman.
Wow. Whoop. Coach Lyle's got the bats. Got the bat swinging, hasn't he?
Bat swinging. Looked like Oak Ridge had him swinging there too. 23-6.
Now Anderson County. That's the second couple losses I think for Anderson County.
Yeah, I think one of those another loss they've got there is Oak Ridge. I think Oak Ridge beat them twice maybe.
Wow.
Yep. More baseball scores there. Clinton gets Scott County twice. maybe they've started out 3-0. Maybe I was wrong on the 2 out of 3. I might be wrong on that. Looks like Anderson County rebounded, and there's Oak Ridge again with another big win. So high school baseball started up. Man, it's been cold this week for them.
Softball as well.
Too.
Softball as well. It's there's some there you go. There's some scores. I think down our way.
Greenback and Rockwood. Greenback gets Rockwood 15-0.
Yeah, I think down our way probably Harriman and Oliver Springs are pretty tough. Oliver Springs has been to the state a couple times. Chris Mason's coaching over at Harriman and has a pretty good softball team. They may be down just a little bit this year, but well, you wouldn't tell it by 21 to Oneida. Don't think they're down, do they?
No, Oneida's going to tell you you're wrong right now. You must have watched the wrong game.
But
that's the 6th graders. She was watching.
You know, of course, in pitching is the whole thing. You know, but
it is in softball, isn't it?
I mean, and
well, it is in any. It is in baseball.
It is, but especially softball. I mean,
yeah.
You know, we've had the what was the girl's name from?
Lindsay Fadden.
Yeah, Fadden. You know, I mean, you could do a game for her in 40 minutes if you rushed them in and off the field. And you know, and I was doing her game one day at Sunbright, and I hadn't paid any attention. I knew we were moving right along, and so we started the 7th inning, and somebody behind me said, "Yeah," I said, "she's got a perfect game." We get 2 outs, and I'm thinking, "Don't let this count go 3-2. Don't let this count go 3-2." Well, I mean, there's not anything close. I'm 3-2. And I'm thinking now I'm in a bad position. You know, the gal's got a perfect game, and I'm in a bad position. I probably could have ended it already. So the gal fouls 1 or 2 off, and I think, golly, help me out. So she throws one close enough. But she was something. I mean, you talk about movement on the ball. She had it. And it went to, did she go to Furman? I mean to Appalachia? Marshall. Yeah, Marshall.
Then she transferred to ETSU.
ETSU. Well, she was the real deal.
Had to have Tommy Johnson.
She was the real deal. We've had some really good players come through here.
Yeah, she could bring it. She sure could.
Some really good players.
So some coaches moving in college. See where Patino's went to St. John's. The Providence coach goes to Georgetown.
Yeah, that area up there they just cleaned house, didn't they?
I seen where Patino took his whole staff from my own.
How long his contract is?
I think it's 6 years or 7.
70 years old.
So now he was at Providence. Was he at St. John's before?
He was at Iona.
No, I'm saying but before he's at Providence. Yeah. So he wasn't. This is his first stop at St. John's. Lou Carcinella, right?
So he said in an interview that I heard that he told him when he got the Iona job that it would be his last stop. He said, "I said that because I didn't really think anybody would hire a 70-year-old coach."
Well, that's what he told the FBI people in Louisville. This is my last stop.
It might be. But they hired him. He said whoever there convinced him, to come on and brought his whole staff. Yeah, they counted in some cash. He didn't go for free, I'll guarantee you. And then Ole Miss jumps out and makes.
That's what it's all about.
It's become that.
That's what it's all about.
And then
we talk about high school coaches and character with their kids.
You don't talk about that in college.
And then here you do just the opposite.
Yeah. Did you see the press conference that Nick Saban done about doing the right thing? Everybody says it was a slam at the basketball.
Was it an Aflac commercial?
No. No, they went on from that, and it's Coach K, and he suspended a guy for something, and I think the way I understood it, it was a message being sent to Nate Oates about basketball. You got a kid.
Who sent the message?
Saban, about doing the right thing.
Saban sent a message about doing the right thing?
Yeah,
he's pretty tough. He's pretty tough. He suspended 3 or 4 of them in spring practice one time.
Yeah. Well, he's suspended. And I think that's what the heat, the heat that's been rolling out.
He's suspended them at spring practice.
He has. Maybe they don't come back. I don't know. I don't keep up with him. I just hear
now they go to the portal.
They just go to the portal, don't they? He has lost a few to the portal. Yeah. Recently, he has. He sure has.
Well, we talked about it last week some. The kid evidently delivered the gun, which he's an accessory to some extent.
You think?
But but you would think that there would have been some action taken. And they had a great opportunity to do it way back before the season started,
And
right?
there was zero.
Early in the season.
Yeah, there was zero taken. So
But
I think
Saban's
that's
not
what's
the one.
got-
Saban's probably not the one to be.
He might not be, but I'm just saying. He said this. You have to be held responsible.
So we've got Dobbs going back to Cleveland. That may come back to haunt the Titans.
I didn't know he was going back. Is he going back?
He's going. He's a 1-year contract with Cleveland, and Mayberry is going to. He's going to
Mayfield.
Mayfield's going to Tampa. Be the next John Brady.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Not John. Tom. Yeah, he says he ain't going to be nothing like him. And
No, he
he's
won't
right.
be. He won't be.
He won't be.
Huh?
You got that right.
Yeah, they won't. They won't be doing a commercial about that being his home because he moves too often.
And
now.
then the guy for the Baltimore Ravens, he ain't flinched yet on his offer they put on him. The quarterback there, he's not flinched at that 32-5 on that whatever they
And
tagged him.
He cost our man the offensive coordinator's job. So that's the way the game's played.
Just the way the game's played, man.
But lots of movement going on and baseball. Do you even? I mean, I can't even get excited about Major League Baseball.
That's what I was going to ask you about too. Tennessee opens up SEC play and loses 2 to Missouri.
Yeah.
Did he get swept?
3 games.
He gets swept then. Okay, that's even worse.
Yeah, it's a little different when you're going in winning 16-0 and 14-2, and then you hit that really good pitching, and it's tough to rebound. Tough to rebound sometimes.
The what?
The wind.
Was brutal.
They had 3 or 4 that dropped in that were foul balls that came
back in.
Play.
But it's going to be. I mean, Lindsey Nelson Stadium is a tough ticket right now, buddy.
It is a tough ticket. I just wonder, is it going to be a letdown?
Well, it's already a letdown. If he lost 3 games and he didn't lose but 7 last year total.
Lost 9 total for the year.
So he's the number 2.
6 right now.
He was the number 2 team.
So yeah, it's a letdown
he's
already.
the number 2 team in the country.
Yeah, it's a letdown already.
Knowing you've pumped all that money in that stadium over there and going to pump some more.
What do you
They
think
dropped
about
to 12?
Tennessee and North Carolina State opening up in football? That doesn't do much for me. North Carolina State's.
Does it make you want to pack up and go to Charlotte?
No.
Okay, it doesn't do nothing for me. It doesn't do nothing. It's not even something I can say, wow, I want to watch that game. That's a game I want to watch.
North Carolina State had a better than average season last year, but in the SEC, you have a 8-4 season in the SEC, and that's, I mean, not much power in the ACC. So, no, I would, of course, that's a big money game because, there'll be a lot of state fans drive down to Charlotte for the night, and there'll be some Tennessee fans drive over.
There'll be some Tennessee people.
There'll be a big crowd, but it's not a wow game.
There'll be some people go to that game. I mean, they're diehards. They're going to go. They're not like you. They just pick and choose.
Well, I pick and choose.
Yeah, I knew you.
Costs too much to just go to those ordinary games.
So that's an ordinary game.
Well, I think so, don't you? You've already said it's not exciting.
It's not exciting to me.
Well,
so what
okay.
would be a game that you would go see in Charlotte?
In Charlotte?
Yeah.
Oh, I would go to Charlotte and see them play Clemson. I would go and see them play Florida State. I would go and probably go watch them play North Carolina because Brown's got North Carolina back in pretty good shape.
Yeah, he does.
I'd go watch them play North Carolina.
So we've already played Clemson and pretty much took care of them in a bowl game. So you'd still go.
But you asked me for who I'd go see in Charlotte.
Yeah, you'd still go.
Yeah, I'd go watch them play Clemson in Charlotte. Yeah.
Okay.
Charlotte's a good city. Charlotte.
Oh, it is. No, it is. I've
Charlotte's
been there for
turned out
races
to-
there.
Charlotte's turned out to be a really.
It's a really good place to go.
I was out. We were over there this weekend, and Lake Norman has turned into a paradise for stock car racing.
Oh yes,
and
it's big time
and stuff in Concord. Everybody's I can remember living in Ashboro, and on Saturday mornings riding up to Randleman and going into Richard Petty's garage, and it was like sitting in the neighborhood. Everybody's sitting around a bunch of old barrels, and smoking and shooting the bull. That's how open it was. He knocked on my door one morning and wanted me to vote for him for county commissioner. And then when NASCAR started getting really big, that's when they started saying, guys, if we move this operation to Concord, we can make a ton of money just off of people coming in our facility. And so when they all started moving to Concord, that's when NASCAR hit it up another. France really made a push, sort of like Vince Lombardi saying, guys, we're gonna live in the town all year long. No longer are you going to come to Green Bay and you're going to leave after football season and you're going to come back. These people expect more. They deserve more. You're staying here, and paid them more, and it changed the game. Not only changed the game, it changed the franchises, and that's what racing. I think when they moved to Concord area, of course you could go down there now, and in one day you can see what as many as you want to see. Garages.
Yeah, as many as you can get to that you can get in.
Yeah.
There's a ton of them down there. Just one after the other. And then the NASCAR Hall of Fame's there too in Charlotte too now. So that's another thing too.
But North Carolina State just doesn't do much for me. Virginia Tech would have been one I would have gone to 3 or 4 years ago, but that's lost its zeal now. No, it's lost its zeal now.
I understand.
But we're getting ready. I mean, when Oklahoma and Texas come in, it's going to be.
I don't know if it's going to be good for the SEC or not. I got my reservations about that. I think it's going to be too big on.
The only thing I hate about it is just like it is now. When you only get to play Texas A&M once every 7 years, and that's the best venue. That's the best venue that I've ever been to. But you only get to go to it probably once every 14 years because you're playing 7. It'd be 14 years. That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
That's crazy.
It's got to. Well, it goes back to what we just said, man. It's all about the.
But with doing away
not
with the
conferences,
it should maybe move around.
Well, I hope so. But
because you only have 3 permanent.
And that's the other thing. See, how do you even out the 3 common? Because I guess they're trying to do it by location. So I mean, Vanderbilt. I don't want Vanderbilt to be one of our 3 teams.
Probably will be, won't it?
Probably, and maybe Kentucky,
and Alabama.
And Alabama.
Yeah. So it takes Georgia out too, then.
Takes
right?
Georgia out, yeah. And then if Georgia's is Georgia, Auburn, and Alabama.
Well,
that wouldn't be.
Have you ever been to Oklahoma?
I have.
You been to Texas?
Yes. No, not the University of Texas.
Not the University of Texas?
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M. I knew you went to A&M.
In fact, when we went to Oklahoma, we stopped by the guy that used to be the Cowboy coach, Switzer. Yeah, knocked on his door.
I heard that.
And Oklahoma's a beautiful stadium too. It's got that brick facade.
It's nice.
It's really nice.
Let's jump out here and take our last break. Let's take a quick one. We'll be right back here on the Locker Room Chat.
As soon as I walked in the door and saw just the ambiance of the place, I thought, wow. I said, this is really nice. Everyone is just great with all of the residents.
I call this the Alexander House of Angels.
This is an example of one of our rooms. This is considered a large studio. We do have 4 different size rooms. They all have their own private bathrooms. They all have a small kitchenette.
I always tell residents that they feed us wisdom. I feel like that's a big special part of working in assisted living.
And it's a big family here. Everyone is very nice.
Look out for each other.
They do. She's made a lot of friends. It's been that from day one.
Yeah, it has.
I love our building, our people, but I tell you, I wouldn't be anywhere else.
Daniel Forrester has been recognized as one of East Tennessee's leading attorneys for nearly 2 decades. Civil disputes, criminal defense, divorces, and juvenile custody cases are all part of an impressive resume. Daniel's legal experience also includes representing clients in local, state, and federal courts. A husband and a father, Daniel is a Rule 31 certified mediator who has represented hundreds of families in Chancery Court. Call Daniel Forrester Law Office at 865-457-7900 for a free consultation.
We treat you like family at RMG. RMG. Bring your junk, cars, aluminum cans. We'll buy it on the spot and we'll pay you a lot. We treat you like family at RMG. Yeah, we treat you like family at RMG. Rome Metals Group, we treat you like family.
Rome Metals is located just off of Highway 27.
Earl Duff Pre-Owned Center in Harriman is your one-stop shop for vehicle sales and service. The Duff family is open for business for everything automotive. We offer fully inspected, dependable pre-owned vehicles, and most come with a powertrain warranty at no extra cost. We also have a complete service department equipped for maintenance and repairs on all makes and models.
Don't settle for less with your next pre-owned vehicle purchase. Come to Earl Duff Pre-Owned Center in Harriman or online at duffpreowned.com.
Welcome back to the locker room chat here for the last couple of minutes here, I think. So tomorrow night, prediction, Tennessee or Florida
Who
Atlantic?
plays tomorrow night? Oh, Tennessee basketball. You talking about
Basketball.
I mean, I got to go with Tennessee. I can't imagine Florida Atlantic having any more, than especially with some of those players starting to spout off a little bit. They liable to catch
a stray elbow.
Well, or a shoestring after boom.
Yeah. But then you got, what is it, Michigan State and Kansas State?
Yes. That could be a Final Four matchup there. Whoever wins that one will probably get in. Because Kansas State's playing awfully well, as is Michigan. And again, the officiating will probably dictate that game, because if Michigan State can get physical, now there's another one. There's another one that likes to foul and stuff, or play as much as they can. So that could slow Kansas. But Kansas State, they always talk about you got to have guards this time of year. Well, Kansas State's got some dandies. Texas has some good guards. We saw Carr. He didn't have a good game in Knoxville, but he's pretty tough as well.
So I don't want to leave the Lady Vols out, but they're playing pretty good basketball right now.
They are, but it's time for them to play. It's time for them to play somebody that's
well, they got
upper echelon.
Virginia Tech.
Yeah, but
right.
They've won both games by what, 25, 30
They
points?
have, but Virginia Tech beat them earlier in the year by 7, 8, or 9.
But they're playing okay. But they're going to have to go a little farther for me to think they've crossed.
Well, they're in Sweet 16.
Well, I'm saying, but again, they're not 64 teams that should be in there.
So they're going to have to get in the lead 8 or the Final Four.
I like some in the Final Four to know that they're because like I say, there's not 64 teams.
You've been saying that for a long time.
Am I right?
Listen, if there's not, why do they have them?
Money.
Does anybody beat South Carolina?
Money. Nobody beats South Carolina.
Nobody beats South Carolina.
And UConn,
if it is anybody, it would be UConn, because Stanford is gone. They're out now, so it leaves UConn. I think UConn would be the only one that would come close. I said come close. I didn't say they beat them.
Yeah.
I said it would probably be.
And I'm gonna go out on a limb there. That guy really doesn't impress me as a coach. I mean, he stands on the sidelines over there sometimes, and the other team will make a run, and he doesn't call a timeout. He doesn't make any adjustments. He doesn't do anything. I think all of his is based on talent.
Oh, most definitely.
I think all of his is based on talent.
Most definitely, it is.
I don't think X's and O's that he's that he could get it done at a place without that.
All right, they're counting us down back there, so we did it again another Wednesday night.
Wow.
Well, that's right.
Thanks, Coach Wright.
Yeah, thanks, Coach Wright, for calling in tonight. We appreciate it. Folks, we'll be right back here next week on the Locker Room Chat, and we'll talk to you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Hey, yeah.
That sounds like my wife out there. She's coming up here to get me, and she's hit the alarm. You gonna bet that's her? And she can't get it off.